This week, we have two Pacer swimmers that will test my skills in the pool. Not only that, but they're here to talk about their journeys to Marywood and beyond. Sophomore architecture major Maia Clasby and sophomore communication sciences and disorders major Hannah Darmofal are in the hot seats tonight. Beyond the Arch starts now. And let's get started. We've got Maia and Hannah here from the Marywood swimming and diving teams. Girls, it's great to have you here.
Thank you for having us.
So the main thing that we always do throughout the 5 seasons here at Beyond the Arch is talk a little bit about finding your way here. So could each of you talk a little bit about how you found your way to Marywood and what you like about it?
Okay. Well, for starters, swimming and diving was really important to me. I've been swimming for basically my whole life, and I really, really wanted to keep doing that in college. And I also am an architect major, so that was really important to me to have that. And a lot of other schools, it would be both swimming and diving would be super demanding with architecture. So Marywood was a really good balance. So I was really excited that they offered both of them here.
Same thing with me, that swimming's been a big part of my life. I have an older sister and grew up swimming with her. And then, so I knew I wanted to swim in college, but academics came first. So I'm studying to become a speech therapist. So here it's called Communication Sciences and Disorders. So they have a 5-year program where my bachelor's and master's, and it just works really well with swim. So just the combination was good.
So talk a little bit about the transition to college. I know when I first came here, it was a weird situation. So can you talk a little bit about transitioning from high school to college, and since it's still somewhat fresh in your minds being only sophomores, how do you think it was? Was it easy? Was it hard?
I think it was I feel like it's easier. I know Maia has an older sister as well. I do too. So I think that definitely helps, and both of our sisters swam, so I think knowing that transition about how they were able to carry and handle both academics and sports was really helpful. But even just stuff like orientation, and then just meeting with the coach, at stuff like Accepted Students Day, and then recruiting trips, kind of just get the layout and see what stuff is going to be like. I feel like that definitely just helped, and then just easing into the season, taking stuff really slow was helpful.
Okay.
Yeah, and definitely going on recruit visits before, and then right away when you're here, you know the team, so you have them to go to, and then they can introduce you to other people as well, and they're very welcoming and stuff. That was definitely a nice thing, having right away familiar faces on campus, and also just keeping the mentality that everyone else was new there, so it wasn't you were the only new person there. So it was really nice having everyone was kind of in the same boat, so you kind of just told yourself that, and yeah, it was a pretty good transition.
So that really kind of leads me into my next question, which is, did swimming really help your transition? Now I know for me, coming in and playing baseball, you meet all these people and you get to basically meet with your teammates before you even get here. So did that help make your transition a little bit easier?
I think it definitely did. I make jokes all the time. When we're not in swim season, I'm oh my gosh, all my friends are gone. Because, we all are just, together all the time. I mean, Maia and I are roommates. Last year, I roomed with the swimmer as well for freshman year. And, you're spending so much time together that, you build that friendship, in the very beginning, even just, stuff like orientation, recruit trips, you build those relationships, and then when you get here, they're just really welcoming in the beginning, before classes even start, that first night they'll have a little get together. So I think that just just makes it easier.
And them being on kind of the same schedule as you in terms of going to practices and stuff is really nice, and yeah, just having them like someone in the same boat as you always around, and like we do spend so much time together that like we don't even really get annoyed with each other, which is funny, but like it's just like nice having all of them.
Now you mentioned recruiting trips. So did you both get to take one, and is whoever you went on your recruiting trip with, did they end up committing here?
Yes, I actually went on a recruit trip it was the very end of October of my senior year, and about a week before that I had committed here because I knew I wanted to go here since like sophomore year. So it was like kind of ironic that I had already committed and it was a recruit trip. But I stayed with Andrea Panoni, who's actually our captain this year. And I knew like that she would just be like, just as a host for the recruit trip, she was just like so welcoming and like such a leader that I knew that she'd be like very consistent and like really stable friendship for me, and just like everyone else, just like really welcoming and everything.
Yeah, I was like kind of later to committing to Marywood, so I actually was by myself on my recruit visit, which was fine. But I also had Andrea, our captain, as my host, and like she was just super nice and like really took care of us, and like everyone on the team would come up and be like, well, if you have any questions, like let me know, like keep me in the loop, like how you're doing, like where you're gonna commit and stuff. And like they were just like super nice and like helpful.
I can kind of relate to that. The kid I came on a recruiting trip with, my best friend Jake, and like I said, he's my best friend. So we came on the recruiting trip together. It was February before I committed here, and our host is actually my roommate right now. He's taking a grad program, so he's still here. So it's amazing the friends you meet going along the way.
Yeah.
But so what made you want to pick the majors you guys did? I know everybody has their reasons for wanting to pick a certain career. So what really made you decide that was what you wanted to do?
Well, I have been in a very artsy family. Like both my parents are artists, but I knew I didn't want to be an artist because starving artists. But I also love. I've always just been interested in either old buildings or new structures coming up and the concepts behind them, and learning about that I thought was really interesting. I didn't actually know a lot about architecture before I came, but I knew that it was one, very practical, and two, very interesting, and it's a mix of art and science, and so I thought it'd be really interesting, and now I love it, so I'm really happy that I chose it.
It's a tough major though.
Yeah,
Especially
it's tough.
here.
It definitely is tough, but it's good.
I'm speech therapy. So when I was in 10th grade, there was a child development course in my high school as an elective, and there was a boy who was hard of hearing. So we each got paired up with one of the preschoolers. We got to choose, and I chose to be with him for my class period. And then just watching how he grew over that year and then the following year. Just seeing how much his speech improved, and just also the interaction with the other preschoolers and even the high schoolers for my year, just how they interacted with him as well. That was just really interesting to me, and I started looking into it. My sister's going to school for occupational therapy. My mom studied music therapy, so it's within the family, and it was just something that I was really interested in. So then with job shadowing and everything, it just really confirmed what I wanted to do.
Yeah, I've always thought family business type things were pretty cool.
Mm-hmm.
Well, we're going to take a quick break here on BTA, but when we come back, we're going to take a trip over to the pool, and these ladies over here are going to test my skills, so we'll see how that goes.
Alvin and the Chipmunks want to remind you, bacteria can hide in food and make you ill.
Wow!
But you can keep bacteria from ruining your day with 4 simple steps. Clean.
I'm waiting for the rinse cycle.
Separate. Cook.
Fire in the hole!
And chill.
We chipmunks are notoriously tidy.
Check your steps. The road trip to food safety starts at foodsafety.gov.
You've messed up your son's haircut.
Mom?
Do you A, try to fix it,
Like it never happened.
B, work with what you got, or C, show solidarity?
Thank you, baby.
As a parent, there are no perfect answers, but you don't have to be perfect to be a perfect parent. thousands of teens in foster care will love you just the same.
So who's gonna do what?
I'll pack the dead batteries.
Great.
I'll only put what I don't need into a duffel bag.
Perfect. That's totally unhelpful.
No problem.
Meanwhile, I will try to comfort everyone by speaking in a calm voice.
And who is going to handle supplies?
I can forget to do a list for us.
Thanks, pal.
We couldn't be any less prepared. I'm proud of you guys.
Talk to your kids about who to call, where to meet, what to pack. Visit ready.gov/kids for tips and information.
They said I have troll teeth.
That my voice sounded like a possessed baby doll.
That no one would ever love someone as stupid as me.
That I was fat, ugly.
Disgusting.
The effect of bullying is potent.
We will no longer be the silent majority.
Now, when you see online bullying, there's something you can do about it.
We're gonna take action with the I.
I am a witness.
I am a witness.
I am a witness.
I am a witness.
I am a witness, and so are you.
So we start out with doing a warm-up. We usually do like basically the same thing, but I usually do a calf and we do stairs. Yeah, so warm up.
That's a lot.
Warm up. So we'll do usually our typical one is we call like 200 skips. So that's do a 200, which is 8 laps. 1, 2, 3, like that. Of swimming, we do 8 laps of kick, 8 laps of an IM drill, 8 laps of roll, and then 8 laps of swimming.
Okay, I think it's safe to say I'm not cut out to be a college swimmer. Sorry, Dad.
So that's our usual warm-up, and then we'll get in, and once everyone's done, we'll usually do a preset that kind of gets our heart rates up. So it's like more, it's like usually like 50s or 75.
More anaerobic.
Yeah, so it's on a quicker time, so you get your heart rate up. And then we'll jump into the main set. Lasts like an hour, 45 minutes to an hour. Yeah. Want to grab some pickles? Some fish. Some fish.
Why don't I try that, and then we'll try the actual start.
Yeah.
Okay.
You got it. Just let yourself arch it.
Well, we call the show Beyond the Arch for a reason. Maybe not that.
do that every time. And you still fast forever. My God, we can stay on though. Come over that. That's all from the pool. Back in a minute. What? See you back in the street.
So I hope you enjoyed my frustrations over there at the pool, but let's continue our conversation here. And I know we touched on this a little bit earlier, but can you talk a little bit about when you started swimming and what kind of impact it had on your lives?
Well, I always have known how to swim, but like I started swimming competitively. I remember when I was 9, and like my older sister swims, like Hannah said. So like I right away was like, oh my God, yeah, I get to be on the same team as my older sister. And yeah, and then my younger sister also swims, so she started the same year I did, which I was kind of annoyed about. Like I wanted to start earlier than she did, but yeah, so I've been competing ever since then. So
I always loved like being in the water and stuff. I remember there's this one video that we watched like on the VHS tapes of me. We're at the beach at a hotel, and I had just turned 1 year old, and I'm like jumping in the pool, like standing on the side, and my mom would let like my head go under, and these old ladies were freaking out. Like, don't let her do that, like she's gonna drown and stuff. But like I just always liked being under. So I have my sister's 3.5 years older than me, so she started swimming when she was 7 at our community Y, and then I was actually 4 at the time, and they really don't accept people till they were 5, but they had like a clinic, so they made a little exception. So I've been swimming competitively really since I was 5, but my sister was a butterflyer, so at first I like wanted to do that, and like I was like really tiny and stuff, so it was pretty much like drowning. But like ever since then, it was a lot of just like kind of following like what my sister did and like wanting to do what she did. Which I feel like is such a sibling thing, but even just like in the pool now, like she's a breaststroker, I'm a backstroker, so it like definitely like evened out. But
so that kind of leads me into a question I was going to ask later, but it fits a little bit more now. Would you say that she was your mentor for swimming?
Definitely. I think it helps that there's not like that much of an age gap, but there's also enough that like we're not competing against each other, so it's like I can look forward to like maybe beating her, but at the same time, like it's a healthy competition that like will help each other out.
Did you have a mentor growing up?
Yeah, my sister, she's 6 years older than me actually, and like so I've always kind of looked up to her, and like she swims breaststroke, and like I guess I just happened to like be like, yes, I love breaststroke, like I can swim it too. And like she's really good at swimming, and so like I always like looked up to her. She would always be like coaching me like during practices or like at meets and like telling me things to remember. Sometimes it was annoying, but I appreciate it now. And like so yeah, I would definitely say she's a mentor because she just like worked so hard, and like it really paid off for her. So it's like really cool to like watch her like her career like soar when she swam. So yeah, it was really cool.
I know we were talking just a minute ago. You said that you moved from Iowa to New York. Mm-hmm. What was that whole move like, and how old were you when you ended up moving?
So I moved the beginning of my junior year of high school, and like
so it was recent.
Yeah, it was pretty recent. So like I got there before the year had started, but like their swim preseason had started in New York already. So that was really nice. Like I remember like the first people I ever met in New York were my teammates that were in high school with me, and like they were all just like super welcoming because I don't know, like everyone says swimmers are super weird and like we're really goofy.
Well, I don't say that. It's okay.
It's kind of like a fact though, because we're all just like really silly and like love having a fun time, and like it really helped like seeing that's like definitely continued from Iowa to New York. Like the people were the same, swimmers were the same. So it was really nice. Like then like I started high school, and like I had all my swim friends there already. So it was like I wasn't completely alone, which was really nice. And like finding out that people were like as weird as me was nice. I could still joke around with. So yeah, it was really nice having that, like just like a community to like be with before like I knew anybody. So yeah.
Now I know pretty much every athlete has that one coach that they can say that they can kind of attribute most of their success to. Like for me, it was one of my Little League coaches in baseball. So who would be that one coach that you had growing up that you could say, all right, this was the coach that I'd probably learned the most from and made me a better swimmer?
That's tough.
Yeah.
I feel like definitely me, it would be more club related for high school. We ended up having 3 different high school coaches throughout all 4 years, so that didn't really luck out very well. But as far as club, when I was on the same team every year from age 5 to 18. So
you got to know him pretty well.
Yeah, so we had like a few coaching changes, but when I was 12 was the first time I made states. So I'd say that's definitely like my peak, and the coach's name was Andrew. So just my relationship with him, like I definitely look back, like even at conferences this past weekend, I was thinking about like the way he coached and like the way I competed at that meet, and I always just like reflect back on that, and like that was like I always say like swimmers have a peak, and that was like my peak. But just looking back on that, and then the coach after that, I just had a really good relationship with him, just like being an older person on the team as far as like leadership and everything. So I feel like that was more of a friendship than more swimming based, but I feel like that also impacted my swimming because just the relationship we had, like just the way that he was rooting for me and everything.
Well, sometimes those are the best relationships that you can have with a coach is a good friendship.
Yeah. I would say like I have had like many coaches, but I feel like the one that I felt like had the most impact was my high school coach in New York. Ironically, he wasn't a swimmer, but his son swam, so he knew a lot about swimming. But like, I just remember he's so, you could tell just like how proud he was of all the swimmers and like how much he believed in everybody. And like, my senior year of high school, I was really trying to make states for New York, and like, he would like constantly tell me like I could do it, and like right before I swam, he like told me like how proud he was and like how much I could do it, and like I ended up making it. So it was like really like nice to like see like he's kind of like another fatherly figure kind of for like everybody, and so like he definitely like just like his belief in everybody was really great. But I definitely owe a lot to like I had a diving coach actually in high school, and he was like 75, and so like he was very, very old, but like very wise, and like he just like mentally he was like the best coach I've ever had, just because he just like he knew all the mechanics, all the little details. He knew like how to think about even he coached me in swimming too, like even like how to think about my races, how to like think about diving and how to apply diving to my life and how to apply life to diving, like really like focusing on what you want and like going for it. And so like it's definitely like one like a really good diving lesson, swim lesson, but like also he like gave me tons of life lessons that I'm like super grateful for.
Yeah, I've always felt that some of the best coaches that you have are not only the ones that you carry great friendships with, but the ones that can really teach you about how to live in the real world.
Yeah.
So, ladies, I really appreciate you coming on, and it was definitely a lot of fun. So, we're going to wrap up the show right after this.
Alvin and the Chipmunks want to remind you, bacteria can hide in food and make you ill.
Wow.
But you can keep bacteria from ruining your day with 4 simple steps. Clean.
I'm waiting for the rinse cycle.
Separate. Cook.
Fire in the hole!
And chill.
We chipmunks are notoriously tidy.
Check your steps. The road trip to food safety starts at foodsafety.gov.
You've messed up your son's haircut.
Mom?
Do you A, try to fix it,
Like it never happened.
B, work with what you got, or C, show solidarity?
Thank you, baby.
As a parent, there are no perfect answers. But you don't have to be perfect to be a perfect parent. Thousands of teens in foster care will love you just the same.
So who's going to do what?
I'll pack the dead batteries.
Great.
I'll only put what I don't need into a duffel bag.
Perfect. That's totally unhelpful.
No problem.
Meanwhile, I will try to comfort everyone by speaking in a calm voice.
And who is going to handle supplies?
I can forget to do a list for us.
Thanks, pal.
We couldn't be any less prepared. I'm proud of you guys.
Talk to your kids about who to call, where to meet, what to pack. Visit ready.gov/kids for tips and information.
They said I have troll teeth.
That my voice sounded like a possessed baby doll.
That no one would ever love someone as stupid as me.
That I was fat, ugly.
Disgusting.
The effect of bullying is potent.
We will no longer be the silent majority.
Now, when you see online bullying, there's something you can do about it.
We're gonna take action with the I.
I am a witness.
I am a witness.
I am a witness.
I am a witness.
I am a witness, and so are you.
I want to thank Maia and Hannah for coming on the show tonight. As we continue Season 6 of Beyond the Arch, I'd like to remind you to subscribe to TVM's official YouTube channel to watch full episodes of BTA. Be sure to follow TV-Marywood on Twitter and Instagram and like us on Facebook. With that, I'd like to wish you all a great night, and we'll see you next week.